Bob has written several of the songs that we do, and you know, years ago there was a fellow by the name of Marty Robbins that had a lot of songs that was about gunfighters and about showdowns and things like this. Well, Bob has written a song that talks about a real showdown that took place up on the top of Mount Carmel, and the forces of good and the forces of evil that we'd like to sing for you right now. It's called Elijah and the Prophets of Baal. King Ahab said to Elijah one day, "Why do you trouble this land?" Old Elijah looked at the king and said, "I'm not the problem at hand. It's the prophets of Baal that's causing all the trouble by not obeying God's will. Now get all of these false prophets together and I'll meet you on the top of the hill." Meet you on the top of the hill. King Ahab gathered all the children of Israel and the prophets of Baal around. And they went up to the top of Mount Carmel for the big and final showdown. For today we're gonna prove who is God and never have to do it again. And Elijah said, "If the Lord be God, then let us follow him. Let us follow him." The prophets of Baal prepared their sacrifice and gathered in all of the crowd. And they called on Baal, and Elijah mocked and said, "Maybe you'd better cry loud. Maybe your God's on a journey, or perhaps he slept the morning away." And the prophets of Baal began to cut themselves and cried until midday. Cried until midday. Old Elijah built an altar to the Lord. It was made of stone and wood. And then he called for 12 barrels of water, and then he drenched it good. Then Elijah lifted his eyes to the Lord there before the prophets of Baal. And he called upon the Lord his God he knew would never fail. He knew would never fail. He prayed, "Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and all of Israel, let it be known that thou art God, and let it be known well." Then the fire fell from heaven and consumed the sacrifice, dust and sod. And the people, they all fell on their faces and cried, "The Lord is God." Cried, "The Lord is God." Cried, "The Lord is God." Cried, "The Lord is God."